Well, my name is Sam Burleson, and I'm one of the co-pastors at Covenant Community Church. I serve alongside of my wife in that role. We have an incredible staff who are full of creative ideas, and they are always eager to serve. The initial phases of the storm recovery, we, like many, became a distribution hub. The thing that made us a little bit different is that we anchored our response in three principles. One, that we would be an organization that helped reduce anxiety on the backside of a storm where there was a lot of anxiety. Two, we would be a place that would embrace dignity. And then the third thing is we wanted to embrace mutuality, recognizing that every single one of us had lost something in the storm. The village concept for us started about 7 weeks or so after the storm hit. And it came when we heard a report from the Buncombe County school system. Prior to the storm, there were 254 students who were classified as McKinney-Vento, which is the state federal response of homelessness, how you would classify a homeless student. But after the storm, the immediate report they had given was that that number had gone to 754, which we thought was astronomical and outrageous. And that was the distinction that caused us to jump into this. We broke ground, and the day we broke ground, that number had gone from 754 to over 1,200. Now, the village at its base is a temporary and participatory housing community where we have been approved by the county to have 36 semi-permanent housing units here on our site. We are just focusing on families with students in the Buncombe County school system or Asheville City school system. Some of what we want to do is not only continue to get the infrastructure built for our village here on our property, but we want to codify our findings and our work in a document that can be shared with others so that the same process can be implemented and built all across our region. We are massaging order out of chaos. And it would be nice if someone who's already done that work could just hand it over to someone who's experiencing chaos. We have found partnership, of course, with the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina, and that amazing partnership that's formed. Organizations like Bounty and Soul have been incredible partners where they're here weekly with their mobile market. Apart from the disaster response, the United Methodist Church, we wouldn't be able to do what we're able to do. They were and have been an ongoing partner with us. There's one family in particular that comes to mind that they were living temporarily in Marion. And for that short month or month and a half, there was a nonprofit that had supported them in staying in a campground there. But she was having to drive 30, 40 minutes every day to bring her child back up to Swannanoa to school. And just by being on this site, the bus now shows up. Picks up the kids, takes them to school, brings them back. She's able to continue in her employment. In a world where so much has been disrupted, let's not disrupt that educational flow for our students. So we have been approved for 36 units to come onto our property. We now have moved into the construction phase, and it's a two-part construction phase, so phase 1, phase 2. The reason for that is because we want to consistently offer housing options to those who need it most. So we don't want to disrupt that reality. We can meet the needs of about 15 families in this first phase. While that's happening, the ground is being disrupted in phase 1. We're laying all the lines for a more permanent infrastructure. Once that's completed, we will move those 15 families over to phase 1, and we can actually add a few more. I think we can add up to 19 in phase 1. And we can then complete the rest of the field. And when I started exploring, I saw these grant offerings that were coming out for the $25,000, the $50,000. And I thought, well, we don't really fit quite into either of those categories, but I'll just send an email and kind of see where we're at. And I said, here's what we're doing. I know we need partners to get this figured out. And it seemed like there was some interest from the Community Foundation and an openness to say yes to what we were doing. I think the next step along the journey, we wanted to make sure that the county was going to approve plans like this. And so we sort of held off until they did. But as soon as they did, I called Tara and I said, the plans have been approved. They're gonna approve this type of project. And it was a very quick response after that. Okay, here's what we'd like to do. Here's how we'd like you to respond. And it was amazing. It floored me that we could have that kind of partnership and connection so quickly with the generosity of the foundation in that way. Those funds in particular have made it possible for us to put the permanent infrastructure in and to be secure for at least 2 years with utilities, to know that we're going to have the money in the bank to pay that. The nature of storm response is that you receive the chaos and then you start piece by piece figuring out how to take each new step each new day. And so I think that's where we are right now. And without that initial step from the foundation, I don't know that we would be where we are. I know we would not. So it was a huge step of faith on their part. And it was a huge boost for us to say, this is what we should be doing. We know this is what we should be doing. It's reshaped our organization and how we will respond to the community around us and how we will think about what it means to be active. And it all starts there with the foundation for us.